Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Paul Wilson again, looking at giving some new, fresh look at one of the things that we all know about, but we don't talk about very much, and that are the four temperaments as identified and talked about by Hippocrates in ancient medical theory. There are four classic temperaments that are as follows: melancholic, phlegmatic, choleric, and sanguine. We'll just discuss those a little bit as it relates to number one, their attributes, and then relating it to a couple of things. One, the disc that you might be familiar with, Myers-Briggs, and then also the why, WHY, that was talked about substantially and significantly by Simon Sinek, among others. So the four classic temperaments: melancholic, it is thoughtful, analytical, detail-oriented, sometimes prone to sadness. Melancholic can be talked about as it relates to the C in the disc, the conscientious person, the engineer, the person that really is more detail-oriented than the others, certainly analytical and precise and more structured. Melancholic is a C, a conscientious. The C is also considered to be, in some parlance, the wise owl, or in some parlance, the urchin. It's also considered to be the green color, if you will. Melancholic, thoughtful, analytical, detail-oriented, sometimes prone to sadness. The second of the Hippocrates' temperaments is phlegmatic. Phlegmatic is a calm person, reliable, peaceful, sometimes passive. You might relate that to the person in the disc as the S, or steady person, the person that wants to make everything fine. It's a whale, it's a dove, it's a person that wants to clean their desk off before they leave, before the evening's over at work. These people are calm and dependable, supportive, and peace seeking. They want everything to go along really, really well. Nice and calm and steady. So we have the melancholic, the C. We have the phlegmatic, the S. Then we come to the D, the choleric, or the dominant. Choleric is ambitious, a leader-like, determined, sometimes aggressive, red person. Red is a color of aggressiveness. They're an eagle. They're a shark. They want to get it done. They're the fire in somebody's organization, the person that does lead from the front, not from the rear. They are decisive. They're driven. They're ambitious. They're goal-oriented. They want to get the job done. They want to be, you talk about A-type and B-type people. These people are like triple A's. They are go-getters, if you will. The eagles, the sharks. So we have the melancholic, the thoughtful, analytical, the phlegmatic, the calm, reliable, peaceful people, the choleric, ambitious, leader-like, determined people. And then we have the sanguine. They are enthusiastic, social, fun-loving, sometimes impulsive. They're influential. They're the eyes on the disc format. They are the peacocks. They're the dolphins. They're the fun lovers. They're social. They're energetic. They're persuasive. They're outgoing. And they love to be with people. There's a chart that I saw recently that talked about the four types, and it related to the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs takeaway. And I'll go through those just real quickly. The melancholic are cautious and analytical. they tend towards introverted thinkers and judgers. So if you've got the thinker thing or the judger thing in your Myers-Briggs, you might tend toward melancholic. The melancholic, cautious, analytical people, the C's, if you will. The phlegmatic or calm, loyal, steady people, they are the S's. The phlegmatic people tend toward introverted feelers and supporters. If you are a feeler, you might be phlegmatic. If you are a supporter, you might be phlegmatic. They're the ones that are the doves that want to be sure that everything is very nice, peaceful, and warm and wonderful, like the urchins. And then the choleric, they're bold, driven, and strategic people. These again are the sharks or the eagles. They are the D's in the disc profile. These are the extroverted thinkers and judgers. Extroverted thinkers and judgers. And then finally, the sanguine or the optimistic, social, expressive people. This tends toward the extroverted feelers or explorers. I think it's really fascinating to see the different types kind of plug into the Myers-Briggs and or the disc. The big takeaway for me in this whole process has been just thinking about dealing with temperaments as you're dealing with people in relationship, depending upon the business you're in. I happen to be coming from most recently the real estate business, and dealing with couples is a great example. Typically, you don't have the same type of personalities with the couple. The temperaments need to be addressed to each person, figuring out who's going to make the decision, who's going to be the one looking for details, who's going to be the one that looks for warmth and feeling in a certain house or what have you. So the temperaments give you a simple ancient lens. The disc gives you the workplace behavioral lens, and then the MBTI obviously gives you the cognitive preferentialist lens. And all three line up around the same core patterns of energy, focus, and relationship style. It's good to know and good to remember when you're dealing with people in negotiation or even when you're dealing in relationship. You look at a family, for instance, if you have more than one person in a family, you've got competing types because opposites attract. And so opposites get together and start having a family. So sometimes it's very challenging to deal with the multiple layers of personality and preferences. And then when you throw in the why, which is the deep down burning bright light inside of people, that puts another layer of complexity on a situation. But just realize that when you're dealing with people in relationship, you're not dealing with just one thing. You're dealing with the whole plethora, the whole ball of wax, if you will, not only with just one person, but if you deal with more than one person, that person, and that person's temperaments, because we all have a little bit of all those in us. There's a predominant, obviously, but there's a time when a phlegmatic can also be melancholic and vice versa. So just realize that when you're dealing with people, and depending upon what else is going on in that person's life at that moment, it might be even more challenging, if you will. But just understand that people have things going on. When they come to you as a client, when they come to you as a person, as a friend, there may be stuff going on you don't know about yet. Relationships are tough. Relationships are tough. And it's important for you to just realize that somebody else is going on with something a little bit different than you got going on. So you just need to be understanding and loving and caring and giving in, and understand that that person's giving you all they can right then. Right then. Hope this has been helpful. I'm a life coach. I'm a life career success coach. I like to talk about life career together as a hyphenated word, because your life is your career. and your career is your life. Your career of life, love, helping, relationships, what you do for a living, but that's not living. That's just what you do to make a living. And I like to say when I'm coaching real estate agents specifically, that what you do for a living is not who you are. It's what you do for a living, and it's what you do to fund the lifestyle that you want. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense for you. Have a great day today. Hopefully we can connect in the near future. If you like, my email address is paulwilsondelivers. And we'll look forward to seeing you real soon. God bless you. Bye.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Uh-huh.